Good evening. This is my home simulator. It's a Saitek full setup with three 24-inch monitors. I'm making a VFR night flight from Modesto, California to San Francisco, California. Departing Modesto runway 28 left. And I'll land with the ILS runway 28 left also at San Francisco International. This is a Boeing 737. The runway at Modesto is actually too short for this airplane, so I'm going to have to perform a short field takeoff. So here we go. I got the parking brake set. I'm adding full power. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to make it off the runway, but we'll see. Okay, engines are spooled up and I'm releasing the brakes. And here we go. Once I get in the air, I'll activate the autopilot. Okay, I'm going to start to rotate now. Looks like we made it off the runway. Gears coming up. There goes the gear. And switching to autopilot. Autopilot engaged. We're climbing out to 8,000 feet. And right now I'm making a left turn to heading 220. In a second here, I'm going to switch over to the virtual cockpit and we'll have the view from inside. Turn on the auto throttle to maintain 250 knots. Which is the maximum indicated airspeed below 10,000 MSL. Okay, now I'm going to virtual cockpit. That's off the right wing. And this is the virtual cockpit. Okay. I like to have just the top part of the dash showing right about there. Makes it easier when you're landing and you can see the runway in front of you. $6,500, climbing 8,000. I have the San Francisco VOR frequency set in the nav1. It's 11580. And in the standby, I have the frequency for the ILS 28 left, 10955. Leveling off here at 8,000. The ILS procedure for 28 left San Francisco calls for a step down procedure. I'm not going to do that since this is a simulator. Obviously I would in real life, but basically my goal is to be at 1,800 feet at 7.3 miles from the runway. 7.3 DME is the glide slope intercept. So as long as I'm at 1,800 at 7.3, then I'll be able to shoot the approach. Again, I don't care about the step down procedures, since I don't have to worry about crashing into any other airplanes. Again, this is a full Saitek simulator setup. I got just about every panel they offer. I got, let's see, I got 9 instrument panels. Airspeed, attitude indicator, altimeter. I got nav 1. Turn coordinator, HSI, vertical speed, and nav 2. And then under nav 2 I have the engine instruments, temperature, RPM, fuel, manifold pressure, that sort of thing. And then got 2 radio stacks. I got the autopilot. I have the single engine fuel quadrant, and I also have the multi-engine quadrant as well, which I'm using now. And then I have the other panel with all the lights and landing gear, that sort of thing. I forget what you call that, but I got just about every panel they offer. And I think I mentioned 3 24-inch monitors. I'm running the Intel i7 chip, and I've got a advanced video card in there for graphics. The weather is fair, scattered clouds, visibility unlimited. I set this up for a VFR flight, but to make it easier, we're going to use the ILS 28 left. I also have the, you can't see it in the dark, but I got the Saitek Cessna yoke, and then I also have the Cessna rudder pedals. Waiting for the CDI to start moving to the center, and it looks like it is moving, so I'm going to make a heading change. I'm going to make a heading change, right turn to 281, and you can see the airplane starting to bank. There's 281 dialed in. I'm also going to start a descent. I'm going to use about a 500 feet per minute. And I'm just going to set it for 0. So we'll make a slow descent. We got 40 miles. Switching over to the nav autopilot. So the autopilot will maintain the 281 course, which will set me up for the ILS. So we're about 37.5 miles out. Got a 500 foot per minute descent set in. 7,500 feet descending. Like I said, as long as I hit 1,800 feet at 7.3 DME, then I'll be okay. When we're about 20 miles out, I'll start slowing down to an approach speed of 165 knots. Like we're 30.7 DME. I'm going to put the San Francisco VOR in the nav 2. So 11580. I'm going to put that in the nav 2. So when I switch over to the ILS, I'm going to lose my DME on the number 1 radio stack. So, but if I got the San Francisco VOR set up in the nav 2, then on the HSI, I'll get a DME readout. Because I'm going to switch over to the ILS when I'm about 10 miles out. So then when I hit that 7.3, I'll start the approach. Looks like the Bay Bridge coming up. We're 25 miles and just about 6,000 feet. Descending. Actually, I think I put 0 in the altitude. I'm going to change that. I'm going to put it in 1,800. Putting in the 1,800 so it'll level off prior to the 7.3 DME. And then when I hit the 7.3 DME, then I'll change my altitude to 0 and start the descent. We're getting close to 20 miles. I'm still at about 5,500, so I'm going to increase my descent rate a little bit. I'm going to go to about 800 feet a minute. I want to make sure I get down to 1,800 before that 7.3 DME. Start slowing it up. That'll help me get down. Let's see. Indicated airspeed is going to 165. Okay. So we got 165 knots set in on the auto throttle. Descent rate of 800 feet per minute. Descending down to 1,800. 16 miles out. 4,700 feet descending. Can't see the airport yet in the distance, but it should be coming in shortly. Just lost it. Computer glitch. 1 second. Okay, it's back up, but I gotta hit the letter P to unpause it. Okay, let's see. P. Okay, it's unpaused. There we go. We're okay. About 4,000 feet, 13 miles. Got about 6 miles to lose another 2,200 feet. Okay, in preparation for landing. About 11.5 miles out, I'm gonna put the landing gear down. And looking for 3 green. There it is. I'm gonna put a notch of flaps in. I'm gonna increase my descent rate because I'm 10.3 and I'm still over 3,000. Want to make sure I get down to 1,800 feet at 7.3. There's 9.3, so I got 2 miles. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the ILS. Okay. And it looks like I made it. I'm 8.3 and I'm 2,200 feet. You can see the airport in front of us now. Okay, 7.7. I'm leveling off here at 1,800. 7.4. I'm gonna go ahead and start the approach. So altitude's going to 0. Let's see. Okay, altitude is set at 0. I've activated the approach. So hopefully the autopilot will maintain the glide slope and localizer. Looks like it's doing it pretty well. Crosshairs are centered. So on short final, I'm going to turn off the auto throttle and the autopilot, and then land it manually, and then put in the reverse thrust and spoilers. Putting the rest of my flaps down right now. Okay. It's looking good. Coming in. Okay, short final. Got one taking off and one coming on the runway. Auto throttle's off. Autopilot's off. Here we go. Going right over this airplane that shouldn't be on the runway. And getting ready to touch down. I'm down, reverse thrust. Spoilers coming up. Applying brakes. And there you have it, folks. Modesto to San Francisco International ILS 28 left approach, and thank you for watching.